to a new Lolita 101 video. In this video, we're gonna discuss different substyles of Lolita fashion and go through kind of like the history, with like recent history of Lolita fashion, including some trends and like where did Lolita come from and like how it has been kinda during the past 20 years. Let me show you because I am a very academic person. I did this Venn diagram here to kind of like showcase kind of different kind of substyles in Lolita fashion, because Lolita fashion consists of like three main substyles, which is sweet, gothic, and classic Lolita. And these kind of in some like substyles, in smaller niche substyles, kind of like overlap in some way. So I made this Venn diagram so that you can kind of see like what kind of like similarities or differences might the like substyles have with each other. And especially if you're new, like it maybe helps with understanding the kind of like color schemes or like themery or like whatever there could be. It shows a bit like clearer picture of the substyles, which can be sometimes like very confusing maybe, or like somebody might feel like uncertain where does something belong to, and like this is only like my interpretation of Lolita, so it's not necessarily like the one and only truth that there is, and I am not like all-knowing, so I probably didn't remember to add like every little substyle that there is. I just wanted to do this video so that like you get like some sort of idea of how the substyles can be. In Gothic bubble, we have Shiro and Pura Lolita, which means like white and black Lolita. Gothic is like usually only black, or like it might have some like accent colors, like you know, the like deep blue or purple or green or something red might also be nice. But anyway, and Shiro Lolita is usually it has very much like similar kind of clothing or like accessories as Gothic, so that's why I put it with Gothic Lolita. In Sweet, I don't really like have any specific substyle in it. Sweet is just sweet kinda, but Sweet is really often pure sweet, which is like, you know, the candy and pastry cats, like cute like pastel colors and that kind of thing. That is Sweet. But very often when Sweet Lolitas dress up, they kind of like dip slightly into like other substyles, kind of, that so that they kind of like they overlap in a way, so that they are not purely sweet. The third substyle, main substyle, is classic, which includes historical Lolita. And I also put sailor slash uniform here because it's like kind of like its own substyle in a way. Then again, usually sailor outfit is inspired from the like past, or like from the like classic kind of like sailor uniform. So Otome is kind of like vintage inspired Lolita, so it doesn't go as far as historical Lolita goes. Like historical, I feel like goes more towards like the 1700s, or even like further 1600s to 1800s, so that kind of like Renaissance, Rococo, Victorian, that kind of Edwardian like era. Those I feel like are far enough to be considered historical, but then like Otome is more like 1900s. For the overlapping parts, let's go for Gothic and Sweet. So I put there like Clown Lolita. Clown Lolita is maybe a bit controversial. I personally feel like it's a substyle because it's so like very like specific with the makeup and with the party hat, or like the jester hat, or I don't know, like with the something that makes it more like, it's not like party style, it's not party K Ghost Lolita, but it's like very like specific things like stripes and like diamond shapes and that kind of thing, like make it more kind of like clown. And especially if you go kind of like pastel and like black, then like it really like matches up with the like sweet and gothic kind of like mixture. Bittersweet is also one thing. I don't know like if I haven't really heard many people talk about bittersweet, but bittersweet is like whenever a sweet Lolita print is made in black color. I feel like that's called bittersweet. That's how I have understood it. It's not exactly like Gothic Lolita, but because it's black, then it usually goes into the Gothic section, even though it's like sweet. So it's kind of like really interesting mixing or like mixture of both substyles, and I really enjoy that. I haven't owned any black dress before. Kinda like would like to try that at some point, but maybe in the future, I don't know. And then for the sweet and classic, there's a lot. I personally like identify myself as a like sweet classic Lolita kind of. Not really sure if I'm sweet or classic, so that's why I'm like sweet classic. But yes, like chocolate Lolita I feel like is if not sweet Lolita, then I would say classic, because chocolate is like the brown color in itself. It's not really pastel. I feel like chocolate and the brown usually mixed with like beige and like kind of like toned down kind of like basic colors or like mainstream colors is more like classical in my opinion, and that's why I put it in this section. Strawberry Lolita is also very like country style. Country is also in this list. I don't, well, let's go first like through country style. So country style is, in mainstream terms, I would say like cottagecore. Country Lolita really often have like straw hat, gingham, flower prints, animal prints. It can be like sweet tones, so it can be like pastel colors and that, but it can also be kind of like classical colors, muted tones. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, like it can be like both. It's like Anne with an E, that kind of like house on a prairie kind of like aesthetic. I feel like country style is very like close to. But yeah, like Strawberry Lolita is kind of like the sub-style of country Lolita, and country or like strawberry is like, strawberry Lolita is just that you have a shit ton of strawberries in your coordinate. Your dress is strawberries, your like color schemes either pink or red, and you have like strawberry accessories and that kind of thing. I feel like that's, I might be like really biased here because like I have a friend who is like 100% strawberry Lolita, and she has kind of like infected me with the strawberry fever, so I've been like dressing up in strawberries a lot recently. So, and I don't really mind that. I think it has been really like interesting and fun to go to like experiment more with the like red colorway, because I didn't really, I was like sworn to pastel colors before, so now I'm just like going for the red, and I'm like, oh, and now I feel like I should like get like chocolate color in my wardrobe, and I'm like, what's happening? I'm like getting old. Hime Lolita is also something that I put like in between, because Hime can be, I would say it can be sweet, but usually they kind of like, I don't know, regency, maybe that's not the right word, but like Hime means princess, so it's Princess Lolita. So you have a crown or tiara or like something, and like very much like lace and tulle and frills and like extra decor, like frilly sleeves and everything like that. So that is Hime Lolita. And then in Gothic and Classic midsection, we have steampunk and punk Lolita. which is steampunk in itself. Is very like 1800s kind of like historical Lolita, but like steampunk in itself is kind of its own like fashion style, and that's why it goes into kind of like the dark academia style direction kinda, but with more like, I don't know, like hogs and monocles and top hats and stripes and maybe like leathery corsets or something like that. um and well, punk then again is kinda, it can be darker or like more lighter, but still it's kind of like harsh, so that's why I didn't like only include it in the classic section. Suspenders and like maybe some chain or plaid or tartan and that kind of like really like punk, you know. um yeah, I think you know what punk is, so like really punk style kind of Lolita. Finally, in the middle of like kind of like mixing all of the substyles, we have old school, OTT, and Ero. I was like, ew, what does that say? But yes, old school is, it can be like really pastel-y, so that's why I kind of would put it in the sweet, though it doesn't usually have any prints in it, so that's why it's kind of like maybe it's just like gothic and on classic, but still kind of also like sweet, depending how it's coordinated maybe. But yeah, like really like plain dresses usually with some like crisscrossing lace um, decor on the dress. OTT is just over the top Lolita, so that like you have a lot of accessories, a lot of decorations on your coordinates. It's like endless amounts of like detachable things on your head and on your dress and on your like on your body. And Ero is kind of like, it's not very popular because I feel like one of the like images that Lolita has is that like it should be like very kind of like modest, but then like Ero Lolita is mixing something controversial into the coordinate. I have seen like people using latex in their dresses or in their coordinates. I have seen like not wearing like any or like see-through material kinda with a like a cage crinoline, so that you can kind of see the bloomers and everything, which is like really shocking. Like really interesting takes on Ero Lolita, and it doesn't need to be like revealing or like very like, you know, sexy or whatever, but like little things goes a long way, and I personally kind of would like to maybe see more of that, though like I don't personally maybe feel comfortable trying that kind of thing. Depends on the style, maybe I could come up with something, but yeah, like it's, I guess because it's so kind of like taboo in Lolita, it's kind of, people kind of avoid it maybe. Quick overview of Lolita. So Lolita was born in Japan in the late 1970s or like early 1980s. It depends a bit on the source. But anyway, in Japan, in Harajuku area, it was like a feminine kind of like movement from the Japanese people, or the Japanese women mostly, to kind of like fight against the patriarchy or the like man led society. Yeah, feminism, google it. Lolita fashion spread into the west in 2000s, I think, yeah, 2000s. And the main brands like Angelic Pretty, Baby the Starshine Brides, and Moime Moiti were like the three kind of like main brands of Lolita, the ambassadors that kind of like came to the West, attended like events and had fashion shows and that kind of stuff, and really charmed the West also with their frills and lace. And that's why it kind of stuck here. Print wise, I would say like candy prints or like really pastel-y like cake prints were a thing. Classic was also popular, and also like black and white Gothic Lolita. LiveJournal was also like one of the platforms that people used to communicate through. So it's just like a forum, kind of internet forum where people could share their I almost said costumes, but like chords and just talk about their like experiences and whatever. 2010s, we have OTT Lolita, so like Hime and like over the top Lolita were all the rage. The bigger the wig you had, the better, and yeah, country Lolita also like came out quite strongly. So I remember seeing a lot of like straw hats and kind of like the sailor style straw hat, especially those were a thing. Also for the like platforms, Tumblr was also like really big in spreading Lolita, Instagram of course, and then like YouTube. 2020s, so during the pandemic we had a lot of like kind of like virtual meetups because of the um, pandemic and like yeah, social isolation. So yeah, like virtual meets were a thing, and also like mainstream fashion has always kind of like influenced Lolita. Cottagecore and like dark academia were kind of a really big thing. Old school has also been quite popular recently, and of course like inclusivity, quality, and like sustainability has been big themes. Kind of like Lace Market is full of stuff that you can buy, and people in the like local communities are um, arranging like swap meets and having their own like sales groups and everything, and like secondhand Lolita is on demand and has been on demand for a lot for a long time, and yeah, I think kind of like the rules or the like rule talks, I would say, because like in 2010s, like Lolita was kind of very strict on the rules, but during like I would say maybe during the past 5-ish, maybe more, maybe 8-ish years, like it has really kind of like become a bit more relaxed with the rules, which I think is like good. There are some rules that like are helpful for beginners to kind of like follow through, but when you are more experienced, then you can kind of like you know the rules, and then you can break it. There was also a Sweetboom in the beginning of pandemic, like about maybe 2 years, like 2020s, 2021. That was like the Sweetboom time when like sweet prints were like people were like ripping them off your hands and like paying a lot of money for those and asking for a lot of money too, which I don't really like. I don't really like that. There is a fine line with like pricing the item accordingly to the time and the like value of the item and scalping. I think like recently in terms of kind of like prints and everything, there has been quite interesting like themes in prints. There has been like really macabre macabre kind of like Minhera style, but also kind of like creepy themes in dresses, which I'm not a fan of, but like I understand like people who are into that. Like it's pretty cool to have kind of like a, you know, a dress that has like doll heads and I don't know, like surgical tools. So dark and edgy. um but also like I have seen like octopus dresses. I have seen um unicorn dresses, like that kind of thing. So there is like a lot of like exploration with different like a bit more niche kind of like themes in Lolita fashion, I feel like. It might be because I am following a lot of people on Instagram who do like casual Lolita or like DIY stuff, and I feel like that there has been a lot of kind of like casual Lolita rising amongst the kind of like DIY people. People are doing a lot of like projects, kind of like accessories to kind of like cutify or like Lolitafy their like casual outfit, which I feel is like really cute. And I think like I've been always saying that like I am not a casual Lolita, but then like my wardrobe is mostly like Lolita style skirts and dresses, so maybe I am a casual Lolita. I don't really know. I personally don't like put myself into that category, but maybe, I don't know. And yeah, like of course like pop culture, I already mentioned that like mainstream fashion has been like influencing Lolita a lot, but like pop culture especially has been like inspiring people a lot. I have seen a lot of like Bridgerton, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and also like Baldur's Gate 3 inspired like Lolita coordinates, which I am like totally enjoying. Like I think it's really cool to see how people kind of like mix things up and like come up with like new ideas and everything, and that's like creativity. I think like creative freedom has been like really big recently, and yeah, I think it's really good. For upcoming trends, I already talked about something in my like reaction video of the like spring summer angelic pretty fashion show. I'll put it here, either side, I'm not sure on which side. But yeah, like I feel like I hope that kind of like Sweet or OTT Sweet is coming back in Lolita with the bonnet and everything. I really wish that it's coming back, but maybe because currently the old school Lolita is so big, or like going strong, maybe it will kind of be like a mixture of kind of like old school and OTT, but who knows. um we'll see. But yes, that's everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this like blabbering bubbly overview of Lolita fashion history. I thought that this would be like really like 5-minute video, but probably not. But yes, anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you next time. Bye.